We found a haunted Irish pub in Seattle that's supposedly the most haunted building in all of Washington.
The good news is that it's also within walking distance of some major tourist attractions, and it's called Kells Irish Restaurant and Bar.
Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Phoebe.
And we're the couple behind In the Great Wide. We were taking a month-long Amtrak USA Rail Pass adventure and stopped in Seattle. It was our last stop on the month-long adventure we had.
We started and ended in Los Angeles, and we went all the way to the East Coast to hit up Pittsburgh, New York, DC, Salem. And then we came back to Seattle on the West Coast before ending the trip back where we started in Los Angeles.
We really looked forward to Seattle after the interminable 46-hour-long Empire Builder train trip from Chicago.
Yeah.
It's very flat.
Yeah, it was a long train ride. And we arrived in Seattle in the mid-morning. We got some coffee because
we needed it.
Yeah, we really needed it. We walked down to the aquarium on the waterfront for a couple hours before hitting up Kells for lunch.
We found Kells because it was listed on a couple of different most haunted buildings lists, so we had to check it out.
And it's located in an alley that's just outside the famous Pike Place Market, and it's essentially directly behind the original Starbucks.
Which we did not go to.
We did not.
But it's right there. It's in Pike Place Market. It's right there.
Yeah, but I don't think we would have found Kells if we hadn't been looking for it.
No. Unless we knew exactly where it was, because it's so hidden away. It's really interesting. Kells opened in 1983, but the building, now known as the Butterworth Building, dates all the way back to 1903.
Yeah, the building itself is rather unusual due to the hilly nature of Seattle. The First Street side of the building has 3 stories, but the Post Alley side where you go into Kells, it has 5 stories.
Yeah, it's weird. It's super weird, but that happens when you live in a bunch of hills.
Yeah.
The Butterworth Building was built to house Butterworth & Sons Mortuary, the first purpose-built mortuary in Seattle.
The mortuary would move to a bigger building in 1923, and the building housed various businesses throughout the years since then.
The building has since been registered on the National Register of Historic Places, which helps protect the building from being demolished for new developments.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate the preservation.
We're a big fan of history, so older buildings, awesome. As
Yes.
long as they don't fall down on you while you're in them. Yeah.
Fair. And Kells would eventually be housed in the basement of the Butterworth building, and the entrance is actually where they would bring bodies into the mortuary.
Fun fact, this building also had the first elevator on the West Coast because they needed it to transport the bodies inside the mortuary.
Yeah, which is...
It's
strange, but funny, but strange.
It's weird to think that the first elevator was in 1903. That seems like they should have been around longer than that. But that being said, it's also very odd that they used to just move bodies around the 5 stories of the building. Well,
Yeah.
4 technically. The top 5th floor was used for it was living quarters for people that worked there.
Yeah. But the floor just above what is now the Kells Pub was originally used as a stock room to store bodies indefinitely, because apparently people back in that time had a hard time deciding what they wanted to do with their dead relatives.
I also think it might be because it could get expensive to bury people. The Butterworth and Sons actually sold caskets as well, and they would range in price between like $20 to like $900, and this was in 1903.
Yeah,
like it's the Cadillac of caskets. Yeah. That room, though, that stored the bodies is now a private banquet hall for Kells, which you can rent for private parties.
Yeah.
It has its own bar. It can seat up to 100 people if it's a cocktail setting. They do round tables that can do like 60 people. But you can be in the storeroom having a party.
Yeah. Obviously, being that this was a mortuary, there's going to be a lot of ghost stories.
The pub was even featured on a TV show called Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel in 2010. Now available with Discovery Plus through Amazon.
Yes, I did go on there to be like, oh my gosh, we should watch this. But we have not watched it because we don't have Discovery Plus. But if you have it, watch it and let us know how it goes.
It's haunted. But people have reported watching mirrors spontaneously crack and pint glasses just slide off the bar top on their own.
Yeah, and the mother of the current owner also claims to have been pushed down a flight of stairs, even though there was no one around to do that. She avoided any serious injuries, so she is fine.
That's good.
But, you know, that's kind of creepy.
I don't want on my tombstone murdered by a ghost. That does not seem like a good deal.
Yeah.
There are some stories of questionable practices at the mortuary as well, as a doctor who treated her patients by starving them. She apparently, like, her cure-all was literally just to starve you.
Yeah.
But they were then admitted to the mortuary after, obviously. They died from starving to death.
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, or whatever. Yeah.
Or whatever illness they had. Yeah, the starving, I'm sure, did not help. However, there are two famous ghosts at Kells, one of which is a little girl with red hair who makes herself known mostly during the day when kids are allowed to come into the pub.
Yeah, she likes to play, so she will steal toys if the kids aren't paying attention.
Yeah, the prevailing notion is that she died during the flu pandemic in 1918, but nobody really knows who she is.
Yeah. The second most active ghost is Charlie, who happens to be my favorite. He's an older gentleman, very dapper man, who appears in the large Guinness mirror in the bar wearing a derby hat. You'll be sitting at the bar and you'll see him sitting next to you when he's not actually there.
Mm-hmm. He is seen most frequently when bands are playing at the pub, so it seems like he just likes live music.
Speaking of, Kells has live music every Friday and Saturday night, and sometimes on Thursdays.
Yep. So go check that out.
Yeah, it seems like they're mostly solo acts. Like, that's a pretty traditional thing with Irish pubs, is that they'll have a guy with a guitar playing and playing songs and doing ballads and things. Yeah. Although it did seem like on the Thursdays that I saw the schedule, they were more like bands, more bands. So.
But live music, I'm all about live music in an Irish pub.
Oh, yeah.
So both of the most commonly seen ghosts are generally perceived as friendly.
Yeah, neither of them have, there's been reports of them like hurting anybody or pushing anybody down the stairs or anything. But they're just there, you know?
Yeah, and the other cool thing about Kells is that they brew their own beer.
Yeah. They have a lager, a hazy IPA, an IPA, a pilsner, a pale ale, a red ale, and a stout, as well as a cider, and they change out seasonal beers every like 4 months or so.
That's a lot, yeah. So, and I think those are the only beers that they offer.
Yeah, they only
Kells.
offer their own beers.
Yeah.
Their brewery's in Portland, so they ship the beer up from there. Where they also have another location in downtown Portland, at Kells, and then they have a third location in San Francisco.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to check those out when we go to those two cities.
Oh, yeah.
And the food is also very traditionally Irish. I ordered the potato farls and bangers from their weekend brunch menu, which I had never heard of before, but they were good.
Tasty. Yeah, they were really tasty. I had a corned beef sandwich. It was really tasty. It's very Irish.
Yes.
Corned beef sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this wrong. The McAleese family, which owns Kells, has a family farm in Oregon that ships in fresh produce to be used at the bar, which is kind of cool. It's like it's a very self-contained pub. You know? I mean, they're taking care of themselves and you at the same time.
Yeah, and the vibe is very Irish, with dark woods and memorabilia everywhere. Their motto is actually, if you can't go to Ireland, come to Kells.
I felt like I was in Ireland. I mean, it felt very Irish. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Even though it's right next to Pike Place Market, which is a huge tourist destination, it did not feel touristy at all.
Yeah.
And granted, I think we came in a little later, like after lunch.
After lunch rush, for sure.
But it was definitely and it wasn't terribly busy, but the wait staff was great, the bartenders were great. Everybody was like, yeah, you know, come on in and hang out and we'll take care of you. To the point where even with I think the brunch item you got, the farls with the bangers, wasn't technically available that time, and the waiter the waitress. She was like, well, I'm gonna go check. And she ran back. She's like, yeah, we can do it. And it was cool. It was really nice.
Yeah, because I was so interested because I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
But we would definitely go back to this pub in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
We
totally.
really, really loved it there. Even though we didn't see any ghosts, but the beer and the food were fantastic. The staff treated us like locals, not like tourists, which is a really big divide in Seattle.
Yeah, it's a big thing that they tolerate the tourists, but there's definitely places that it's like, yeah, the tourists go over here and the locals come over here, so they don't have to deal with them. Which I get, because we go, I mean, obviously we travel a lot, we go to a lot of places, and like, the worst thing is being thought of as a tourist. You go and you pretend like you live there, and surprise, people treat you like you live there. And it's nice. You feel like a local. It's cool.
Yeah. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please like it and consider subscribing to our channel. We release new videos every Tuesday and Thursday about specific stuff to do while you're traveling, and we share even more information on our website to help you plan your own trips.
We're going to be talking about Seattle for the next couple weeks, so definitely smash that subscribe button if you're planning a trip to Seattle.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the Great Wide somewhere.